Hello everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And it's day 2 of our travel unit this month. We're visiting Copenhagen, one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
And happiest.
I think a lot of people would agree with that, right? We've seen the beautiful fishing houses in Nyhavn, and of course we've looked at the canals and all the wonderful places that you can see in Copenhagen on your bike. But it's also one of the happiest, that's right, cities in the world. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But have you ever been to a city that you just would say, oh, it has a really happy feeling to it? That's a tough one.
Well, a city with a lot of parties at night would be Bangkok.
Okay,
Yeah, there's a lot of different people. I'm not sure that everybody's happy, but they look pretty happy when they're drunk.
And people in Thailand are famous for being very friendly and welcoming to visitors, right?
Yes.
It's a super popular tourist place. Okay, that's a good one. Thailand, the weather's nice,
There are
right?
a lot of shows, a lot of fruits.
Oh, okay, that's true. A lot of cheap, delicious fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been to... I like exciting cities, busy cities. You know, New York is very exciting. I'm not sure people would describe New York as happy.
New York is miserable.
All the time, except if the Yankees win or something, then it might be happy. On New Year's Eve, people might be happy there. But yeah, maybe people are too busy to be happy.
They're too busy.
Taipei is a pretty happy city.
I think so.
People here aren't really grumpy all the time or anything.
So.
Maybe that's the secret. You can't live in a super big city because that just makes life tough, and it's hard to be happy
when you're too stressed.
When you're stressed, when you're stuck on a bus with 100 other people for rush hour every day. But anyways, if you really want to check out a happy city, we can guarantee that Copenhagen will be a place you'd want to visit because it's apparently one of the happiest cities in the world, and we hope to find out why in part 2.
From Nyhavn, a short walk will bring you to the Little Mermaid statue. The statue is based on the famous story that was written by Hans Christian Andersen. Andersen lived in Copenhagen for most of his life, and this small statue is considered a symbol of the city. Another popular spot is Tivoli Gardens, which is the 3rd oldest theme park in the world. This theme park is famous for its beautiful flower gardens, delicious food, and exciting rides. What's more, many people believe that Walt Disney got his idea for Disneyland after he visited the park.
All right, so we are back visiting Copenhagen. It is still one of the happiest cities in the world, we hope. But today, right from the start, we're going to be meeting Copenhagen's most famous citizen who's been around for hundreds of years.
From Nyhavn, a short walk will bring you to the Little Mermaid statue. Yes, she's very famous. Everybody visits her, and she's from an Andersen fairy tale. She is a statue. So we've all seen this in the photos and the postcards, and she's there and she doesn't move. A statue is a person, a figure, it could be an animal that's commemorating or remembering, or somebody is very important who is there. It could be made of marble, it could be made of bronze, it could be made of gold, and it's there to remember somebody important. It could be a famous person, it could be a person from a story, and many people would take pictures with it and visit the statue. Scott has a statue of a tiger in his bedroom. So maybe this tiger isn't a super important person, but I think it means something to Scott. So that's why it's in his bedroom. Statues mean something important or famous or someone that people care about.
That tiger is definitely not a person, and I definitely wonder why Scott has it in his bedroom. It's kind of an interesting thing to have there. Yeah, that could be it. It's his guardian statue. Anyways, this statue, of course, is not a tiger. It's a figure of a woman sitting on a rock right there in the water. And yeah, we're going to learn more about it. It says the statue is based on the famous story that was written by Hans Christian Andersen. Of course, The Little Mermaid was a fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen, turned into lots of movies and other stuff. I think this mermaid, I'm not sure if she actually looks like a fish. It might just be like a girl sitting on a rock. So if you're going there expecting to see Ariel from the movie, it's a different mermaid, but it's kind of the same story. Hans Christian Andersen, very famous guy. It says Andersen lived in Copenhagen for most of his life, and this small statue is considered a symbol of the city. Yeah, he's definitely one of the most famous, worldwide famous people to come out of Copenhagen. Wrote many great fairy tales, not just The Little Mermaid. And of course, yeah, they want to remember that and remember one of his most famous characters too.
Another popular spot is the Tivoli Gardens, which is the third oldest theme park in the world. This theme park is famous for its beautiful flower gardens, delicious food, and exciting rides. What's more, many people believe that Walt Disney got his idea for Disneyland after he visited the park. Wow. So theme parks are places with rides. We normally think of Disneyland, we think of these big roller coasters, but this place in Copenhagen sounds like it's beautiful, probably because of all the gardens, and it's just a bit different. I think sounds kind of magical, and if it inspired Walt Disney, then you know that's where the idea of Disneyland may have come from.
That's right. Tivoli Gardens is right there in the middle of this city. If you look at a map of Denmark or Copenhagen, you'll be amazed that they put an amusement park right there downtown. It just fits in right in the old part of the city. But yeah, you can find merry-go-rounds, and I think there's a little roller coaster in there, but it would be a wonderful quick trip. You could even go to the amusement park in the morning before you have lunch or something. It's that convenient. It's also very famous, and as you said, the gardens are just the best. So definitely bring your camera. All right, time for us to take a break, and we'll be back with many more interesting facts and wonderful things to do in the beautiful city of Copenhagen right after this break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们今天要继续跟着课文来游览哥本哈根。从新港只要走一小段路，就能来到小美人鱼的雕像。那它是根据安徒生著名的童话故事而制作的。安徒生大半辈子都住在哥本哈根，那这座小雕像就被认为是哥本哈根的一个象征。那我们再看到另外一个热门地点是蒂沃利花园，它是世界上历史第3悠久的主题乐园。那这边有美丽的花园、美味的食物，还有刺激的游乐设施。而且呀，许多人认为说，华特迪士尼就是在造访这个乐园之后，有了迪士尼乐园的点子哦。好，我们来看单字 statue， 它表示雕像、雕塑。那雕像的材质有可能是大理石啊、青铜等等，而有些雕像是用来纪念某个人或某个事件。这时候 Rainbow 老师他用到 bronze，B-R-O-N-Z-E，bronze 表示青铜或者是青铜制品，还有用到 commemorate。C-O-M-M-E-M-O-R-A-T-E，commemorate 它表示纪念的意思。这边3个重点进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 base， 当及物动词的时候呢，是表达根据，以什么为基础。那常常会用被动语态 A be based on B 去表达 A 以 B 为根据 ，A 基于 B 而来，或者是说 A 根据 B 改编。我们有时候看小说、看电影就常听到像这样子 ，The novel is based on real life events。那本小说是根据真实事件改编的。再看到非限定用法的关系子句。关系代名词 which 它可以引导关系子句去修饰前方的事物，那个就是先行词咯。当这个先行词是明确特定的事物时，我们要用非限定用法，因为不用去限定它，所以是非限定嘛。那这时候 which 引导的关系子句只是要来补充说明先行词，我们要用逗号跟主要子句隔开。举例来说 ，Paul's new car, which he bought last month, cost him an arm and a leg。Paul 的新车啊，花了他很多钱，一只手一只腿都给出去了。好，那辆车是他上个月买的。那这边我们重点是在讲说，那辆车花了他很多钱，只是用关系子句补充说明说车是上个月买的哦。好，再看到下一个重点是 What's more， 它是指此外而且，用来补充说明前面提到的内容。那它就跟 in addition 或者是 besides 意思相同。例如 ，This umbrella is windproof and waterproof. What's more, it's easy to carry. 这把伞防风又防水，而且它方便携带。如果一支100块，我一定马上买100把。好，继续回到课文中。
Since Denmark has been a kingdom for over 1,000 years, Copenhagen is home to several palaces. Many of these are open to the public. Rosenborg Castle is located in the old city center. Visitors can take a tour of its magnificent halls and view Denmark's crown jewels, and then top it all off with a picnic in the royal gardens. It's the perfect way to finish a trip to one of the best cities in the world.
Okay, so we know that Denmark is a place with a long history, and now we're going to read about something related to the history of Denmark. Since Denmark has been a kingdom for over 1,000 years, Copenhagen is home to several palaces. Wow, this is where all the kings and queens lived.
That's right. I think Denmark still has kings and queens, just like some other European countries. Of course, famously, Britain has the Queen Elizabeth. I think Holland, Netherlands, they also still have a king or a queen. And here in Denmark, they have a king or a queen even to this day. So when we have a country that is ruled by a king or a queen, that is ruled by a royal family, we might call that country a kingdom. This is kind of an older term. A lot of countries don't have this kind of government. They're not organized this way anymore. But of course, back in history, kingdoms were very common because many countries were ruled by a king or a queen and their family members. So the whole land was owned by the king, and he would, use it in different ways, build castles and fight wars and all that kind of stuff that comes to us mainly in our history books. Not many kingdoms around these days. But the sentence we have for that word reads, Anna's sister ruled the kingdom for many years. So I guess she was a queen. And even if it was a queen,
Elsa?
We wouldn't say a queendom. We would say a kingdom.
Yes, and the king and queen often live in a palace. A palace is a big, beautiful place, which is the home of the king and queen, and this is a place that people often visit when they see different countries. So many countries are famous for their huge, grand palaces, which show a lot of wealth, it shows a lot of power, and it's very fancy. The royal family lives in a palace. Yes, this is where they would normally live. For example, in America, we don't live in the palace, we live in the White House.
You live in the White House?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Of course, yes, palaces like Buckingham Palace, where the Queen lives in London, or of course the famous Palace of Versailles outside Paris. Grand homes. These aren't castles. They weren't built with walls or to fight wars from. These are just big, luxurious, giant homes for royalty. All right, back to the article. Many of these, we're talking about the palaces that you can find in Copenhagen and probably in other parts of Denmark, but many of them would be around Copenhagen. Many of these are open to the public. You can go there. You can't live in this one. But you can go and visit and look around.
You can camp outside of it.
Possibly, maybe in the park across the street or something. Which ones would you want to check out? Well, we learned Rosenborg Castle is located in the old city center. So it might be one of the older ones with a longer history and certainly easy to get to if it's right in the city center. And if you do go, we learned visitors can take a tour of its magnificent halls and view Denmark's crown jewels. Wow, bling bling. And then top it all off with a picnic in the royal gardens.
Yes!
Sounds like another great afternoon. You can visit the palace, see all the beautiful rooms inside, look at the crown jewels. So these would be the crown with all the jewels on it and other things that the king or queen would wear on special occasions. It's all there in glass cases. You can see that stuff. And finish it off with a nice picnic in what I'm sure is a beautiful garden.
It's the perfect way to finish a trip to one of the best cities in the world. Wow, so Definitely the author really wants to go there and thinks this place is the best, and it definitely sounds amazing. So we have the word here, which is a crown, and that's something that kings wear on their heads, and it's often made with gold, and it's covered in different colored jewels, perhaps. King Edward wears a crown that is made of gold. It symbolizes his power.
Yeah, it's a hat. You would wear it on your head, but it's not the hat you would wear to keep you warm or keep your head dry. You're right, it's covered in diamonds and emeralds and pearls and rubies and all sorts of stuff, maybe made with gold as well. I think the Queen of England has some pretty amazing crowns, and yes, they are all covered in jewels. What are jewels? These are precious stones that people dig from the ground, cut, polish. They look beautiful in the light. They have wonderful, amazing colors. We make jewelry out of jewels. Well, that's one of the ways we make jewelry. And of course, when we think of jewels, yes, diamonds, pearls, rubies, emeralds, sapphires, things like that. And we also think of what a pirate might have in their treasure, our valuable jewels and gold coins. For example, the valuable jewels were stolen from the museum in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, it wasn't me.
Is it a movie?
It's many movies, absolutely, yes. All right, let's turn to our what do you think question. What do you think? Which of Copenhagen's attractions are interesting to you? Why?
Well, several of Copenhagen's attractions are interesting to me. I would really, really love to visit the palace and also the theme park because I enjoy grand scenery. So very, very big places because you know Taiwan is not such a wide open space with something so grand. We don't really have the space for that. We don't really have kings and queens. So I like to see that grand royalty in the palace. And for the theme park, I want to check out the gardens.
Oh yes, the gardens, the Tivoli Gardens. That's what it's called. So that would be great. What about you guys? Do you already have a small list forming in your mind of places you'd want to check out in Copenhagen? Have a chat about that. We hope to see you back here soon for more great articles about travel and many other wonderful topics. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
丹麦1000多年来一直都是一个王国，现在也是，它就跟英国一样有君主有首相。那课文写到说，哥本哈根有好几座皇宫，其中许多是有对大众开放的。而课文介绍的这个罗森堡城堡是位于旧城中心，游客来到这边就可以参观它宏伟的大厅，欣赏丹麦的皇冠珠宝，然后在皇家花园野餐，来为旅程画下完美的句点。我们看单字 kingdom 可以指王国，或者是说我们这个动物界、植物界的这个界的意思。还有看到 palace， 它是指宫殿、皇宫。这时候老师有用到 royalty。就是在 royal 后面加上 ty 来构成这个名词，表示王室、皇族、王室成员。再看到 crown， 它表示王冠、皇冠。jewel 则是宝石、珍宝。Mike 老师有提到几种宝石，像 diamond 钻石、emerald 是绿宝石、ruby 红宝石、sapphire 则是蓝宝石。好，那以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
From Nuhan, a short walk will bring you to the Little Mermaid statue. The statue is based on the famous story that was written by Hans Christian Andersen. Andersen lived in Copenhagen for most of his life, and this small statue is considered a symbol of the city. Another popular spot is Tivoli Gardens, which is the third oldest theme park in the world. This theme park is famous for its beautiful flower gardens, delicious food, and exciting rides. What's more, many people believe that Walt Disney got his idea for Disneyland after he visited the park. Since Denmark has been a kingdom for over 1,000 years, Copenhagen is home to several palaces. Many of these are open to the public. Rosenborg Castle is located in the old city center. Visitors can take a tour of its magnificent halls and view Denmark's crown jewels, and then top it all off with a picnic in the royal gardens. It's the perfect way to finish a trip to one of the best cities in the world.
亲不知子 Trail is on Route 11 in Phangbin, Hualien. This exciting path follows along a steep cliff overlooking the magnificent Pacific Ocean. The trail was originally a footpath built during the Japanese colonial period. The path was built in order to connect two local villages. After 3 years of renovation, the trail was reopened in 2017. A new 20-meter glass-bottomed bridge was added to the trail. The bridge hangs 50 meters above the Pacific Ocean. Visitors are sure to get a great view of the Pacific Ocean and towering cliffside. Check out Qingbu Zhizi Trail for a rousing experience.
See you next time!